Hey guys, happy weekend to you all. I hope you're having a great weekend so far. Thank you for joining me today. Today, as you know, today's weekend is part of the weekend, and I like to delve into more than gossip on social media. So today I'll be diving into a fascinating topic, which involves the intricate relationship between Africa and Jamaica. I encourage you to stay tuned as we explore the deep connection that binds Jamaica to Africa and get a better understanding of this unique relationship between Africa and Jamaica. Many of us deny our African roots, but as you will find out, this connection is undeniable. The image that you're looking at right now is a replica of an African woman called Queen Nanny of the Maroons, or Grandy Nanny, which means mother of all. You will find out why she was given these titles as we progress further. So, who are the Maroon people of Jamaica? They are a combination of the Moors, the Taino Indians, who are the indigenous people of Jamaica. They existed in Jamaica long before Columbus claimed that he discovered Jamaica. The Maroons are also a combination of Africans who were brought to Jamaica as slaves. The Moors were a powerful set of people who once ruled Europe. Yes, they did. They were powerful and mighty warriors who were well advanced in warfare, architecture, and navigation. The Moors were brought to Jamaica as slaves by the Spanish, who had overthrown them during the time of their reign in Europe. The Spanish brought them to Jamaica as slaves. They were forced to work on the plantations in Jamaica. Sometime after this, the British came to Jamaica and overthrew the Spanish, which resulted in the destruction of many of the plantations in Jamaica. The Moors then fled to the hills after the war between the British and the Spanish and merged with the Taino Indians up in the mountains to escape further enslavement. The British then brought in a new set of slaves from Africa, including members of the Ashanti tribe and the Congolese tribe, who were fierce warriors. They in turn rebelled against enslavement in Jamaica and escaped to the hills to join the Moors and the Taino Indians. They all had one thing in common: they fought against injustice and enslavement. These three groups of people became what is known as the Maroon community in Jamaica. So what role does Queen Nanny play in all of this? Queen Nanny was born in Ghana in 1668 and passed in 1755. Nanny was brought to Jamaica as a slave, and she was from the Ashanti tribe. She has a very important and special place in Jamaican history. She's a national hero. She was an outstanding military leader during the onset of slavery in Jamaica. She and her team outwitted the British, who at the time had colonized Jamaica. She was a great leader. She united the people during the time of the capture. Nanny led our enslaved ancestors to freedom and found refuge in the hills of Jamaica, a place called the Blue Mountains. They formed a community known as the Maroon Community of Jamaica. Bear in mind that the Maroons are made up of Africans, the Tainos, and the Moors who once ruled Europe. So Queen Nanny, the great Ashanti woman from Ghana, led this group of people to freedom. Rebelling against enslavement, they all escaped to the hills and formed a community where they lived as free men and women, but not without a fight. And the strategies devised by Nanny and her brothers Kojo and Akampong, who became leader of the Maroon army that was organized by Nanny. In order to protect the community from outside invaders, namely the British, they organized themselves at various lookout points in order to summon any signs of invasion or danger to the community. They also used sounds, the sounds of drums, and the blowing of the African horns, which signal messages to the people to warn them if there was any impending danger. After 6 years of fighting with the British in order to maintain their freedom, the British realized that they could not win the war against the Maroons. So in 1738, a peace treaty was signed between the British and the Maroons. And although all the elements of the treaty was not fair, Kojo, who could not read at the time, signed the treaty. Nanny was not happy with this agreement, but it went ahead in order to gain freedom. As a result of the treaty, the freedom of the Maroon people was recognized. The land in the mountainous areas was given to them. This land was in a zone called Cockpit Country. From then on to this day, they live as a separate community in the mountainous areas of Jamaica, where they govern themselves, speak their own language, and maintain traditions from Africa. A respectable boundary was formed between the two in order for the Maroons to live in freedom. The Maroon community still exists in Jamaica today. They still live in Cockpit Country and they have maintained many of the African traditions and spirituality. From then on, the Maroons are known as a people who would fight against threats to their liberty. They did not and do not settle for abuse. They always agitated for freedom. Whenever there was a threat, they would go into survival mode, which led to them forming a stronghold that has become known as the Maroon community in Jamaica. And all this was led by Queen Nanny. So here we have a connection between Africa and Jamaica. And here we see that no matter how we try to maintain negative African sentiments, our roots come out of Africa. And we have played a great part in history in order to maintain our freedom.